Hello, friends and fashion lovers, you're welcome back. Thank you for clicking on this video. And if you're here for the first time, please do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get notified each time I upload a new video. Today's tutorial is a lovely one because it's the building block of every top, every blouse, every shirt. It's a basic bodice block, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the secret of how I draft my basic bodice. So without further ado, get your measurements ready, and the measurement you'll be needing is on the screen. So let's get right into action. The measurement I'll be using is going to be displayed to you on the screen. Assuming you've gotten your measurements, to get started, I'm going to square a line. And this will serve as my guideline and also as my shoulder line. So I'm extending this line across since I'll be having this line in common, the shoulder line. I am going to put in my measurements from the shoulder to the bust point. I'm going to mark the bust point is 10 inches. And to the waistline, that's the waistline for the front, is 16.5 inches. I'm going to extend this line like so. And this as well. Now I can start putting in my measurements. Firstly, I'm going to have my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5 inches. To get my armhole depth or the armhole line, I am going to divide the bust measurement by 4, and that gives me 9 inches. So I'm just going to be sure that it's 7.5 at this point. Then I can use a pencil and indicate that line like so. As this is my shoulder line. So since our shoulder is not straight like so, we're going to mark 3 inches, the standard neck width measurement. Then at this point I can mark my shoulder slope. At the shoulder slope mark, I am going to connect to the neckline, leaving me with my armhole. There are different methods of deriving your armhole. It could be your bust measurements divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, half of shoulder measurements plus half an inch. Whatever armhole formula works for you, please ensure to use it here. The next thing to do is to put in the round chest measurement. The round chest measurement, that's round bust measurement. Bust divided by 4, that's quarter of the bust measurement. It gives me 9 inches. I am going to borrow 3/4 of an inch from the back. That is 9 inches plus 3/4 of an inch from the back bodice to add to the front. So this is my 3/4 of an inch. I would assume that you know how to read your tape measure. The purpose of borrowing this 3/4 of an inch is because we carry most of our weight in front, while the men's chest measurement at times is easily distributed between the back and the front. We women, we have the bust and we don't have any bust at the back, so that's why I borrowed 3/4 of an inch and brought it forward. At this point, I am going to rule a line. The next is to come down to the waistline. Put in quarter of the waist measurement. That is the waist measurement 30 divided by 4. I have 7.5 inches. So temporarily, if I connect this 7.5 inches to the arm sky, that's the chest line, like so, you can see it's too slanty. So that leads us to the introduction of that. If you know the purpose of that, you know that it's, instead of just giving it a flat, making your outfit to just look flat on you, it just makes it three-dimensional. So here I am going to put the average dart of 1.5 inches. So at this 1.5 inch, I am going to reconnect. I'm going to connect my waist measurement and connect it to the arm sky or the chest line, like so, where we have the bust measurement. So you can see how neat it looks. This is the dart. So now to take away the dart, look for your bust span measurement. The bust span measurement is divided by 2. My bust span is 7 inches. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So I'll mark 3.5 here and come down to the waistline and mark 3.5 inches. Normally, to make the bust area look more flattering, the dart starts 1 inch below the bust point. This is the bust point. Let me indicate that this is the center front. The dart starts 1 inch below the bust point. So at this 1 inch, I'm going to mark. That is where my dart is going to be starting from. So now I can take my rule and draw that out. So remember that we had 1.5 inches here for the dart. So 1.5 inch divided by 2, that's 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to be marking 3/4 of an inch on both sides, like so. Now I can connect it to form a dart. Here it is. Other than the armhole, finishing the armhole, there's an important thing missed, that is the side dart. But let me quickly draft the back before we head back to the side dart. The back, the same measurement that you have here as the shoulder measurement. You put it here. Have this armhole line. Just make sure that it's 7.5. Okay. So at this point, I can mark out the standard 3 inches. I'll just connect it like so. Just the same way we did for the front. Now, important thing to note. Remember that we borrowed 3/4 of an inch from the back to make the front. Let me just quickly connect this so that you can understand. You borrowed 3/4 of an inch from the back and added to the front. And we said bust measurement divided by 4 was 9 inches minus 3/4 of an inch. 9 minus 3/4, that is 8.25. So that is my 8.25 of an inch at that point. So I can connect it at this point. Another important thing to note between the back bodice and the front bodice is the shoulder to waist measurement. For the front, we had 16.5 inches. The back shoulder to waist measurement is 15 inches. That is for me. The difference between the back and the front might range from 1 inch to 3 inches, depending on your bust measurement or your height. So it might range from 1 inch, the difference between the length of the back and the front. I think there's a video on how to determine the length of your shoulder to waist measurement for the back and the front. For most persons, their natural waist is located at this point, just around where you have the elbow. Wherever yours is located, just tie a cord there. Make sure that it's not too tight and not too loose. Just feel comfortable with the cord. Now get your measuring tape. You can even have someone take this measurements for you. You'll be measuring from your shoulder, passing through your bust point to your front waist. Do same for the back, shoulder to waist for the back. So here I'm going to put in the original waist measurement. That is waist divided by 4. That's 30 divided by 4, 7.5 inches. So I'm going to square a line at this point, like so. See, for the back, it's quite straight. So there was no need to add that. We don't have quite a slope like this. The next thing about the back is, in case you like zipper, you could add your 1 inch zipper. You don't need to do the square back effect because already this is already straightened out. You don't have this, you've gone dartless at the back. Your back is proper now without the darts. So back to what I was saying was missing in the front bodice is the side dart, the bust dart. This is very important, and to locate the bust dart is always about 2 inches for me. Some people locate it at this bust point line, but to me it's always about 2 inches away from the arm sky. This is what I mean, the arm sky. 2 inches away. And 1 inch away from the bust point. The side dart is a factor of the difference. It's equal to the difference between your back and your front shoulder to waist measurement. This is shoulder and this is waist. This is shoulder. So the difference between your shoulder and your waist for the front and back for me is 1.5 inches. That is 16.5 inches minus 15 inches. This is 15. So I have 1.5. So now that 1.5 inch at this point, I said 2 inches away from your arm sky. So at this point that I have 2 inches away from my arm sky, I need to stop 1 inch before the bust point. I am going to draw. You can see the way I place, this is my bust point. The way I place my ruler actually passes from here. If I was to draw a straight line, it will get to this point, but I am stopping here, 1 inch away from it. So I said the difference between the back and front is 1.5 inches. That is 3/4 of an inch if I'm sharing it equally to form a dart. That's 3/4 of an inch on either side. So I'm going to connect this to form the side darts like so. So this is, our bodice is almost coming to an end. The next thing to do is to come here, find the midpoint of your armhole like so. This is the midpoint. Go in by 1 inch or 1/4 of an inch. If you know your across front measurement, this is the time to apply your across front measurement. I know my across front measurement, so I can as well apply my across front measurement at this point. So next thing to do is get your cuff, your hammer cuff, and connect this out nicely. You can also find the midpoint of your back armhole like so. This is the midpoint. Connect your points. So this is basically it. And to cut my bodice out, I am going to add ease, 1/2 inch of ease all through. Note that this bodice was drafted without seaming allowance. Patterns are mostly drafted without seaming allowance. So when you are cutting it on your fabric, please ensure to add your seaming allowance. Ensure to add your seaming allowance. You can now decide to curve out your neck. What's the neck dip you want to use? Is it 3 by 3 inches? Just curve it out at this point. Do you want 1.5 inches at the back, or you want 1 inch at the back? I'll just go with 1 inch at the back. So next thing to do is curve it out as well. So after adding the ease, I can proceed to cutting my bodice out. So this is how I draft my bodice. So at this point, this is my basic bodice. You need a zipper. Do well to add your zipper allowance. Please, if this was helpful to you, please do well to like, subscribe, and thank you for watching to this point. The next we'll consider how to manipulate this bodice to form princess darts, and we are going to actually sew and see how it fits. Please do well to draft your bodice, and see you in the next tutorial.